Here's something that is going to sound wrong the first time you hear it. The best thing you can pour down a slow drain is not sold in the plumbing aisle. It is 3 aisles over, past the mops, past the trash bags, down on the bottom shelf next to the laundry detergent. It comes in a yellow box. It costs about $4. I have been fixing pipe for 30 years. I have spent more evenings on my knees under a kitchen sink than I care to add up, and most of those calls started the same way. Homeowner, standing behind me holding a plastic bottle they paid $9 for at the hardware store. And I will tell you something. 9 times out of 10, that bottle is part of the reason I was standing in their kitchen at all. The stuff in the yellow box is called washing soda. Sodium carbonate, if you want the name off the chemistry sheet. Arm & Hammer makes the one most stores carry, and it says super washing soda right across the front. 55 ounces, $4 or $5, and that box holds enough for a dozen treatments. You are looking at well under $1 every time you use it. 1 cup of that, used the right way, will open a grease clog or a soap scum clog overnight while you are asleep. No snake, no auger, nobody pulling your trap apart on the floor of your kitchen with a bucket between his boots. My Uncle Ray showed me this when I was still too young to be trusted with a torch. He was not a chemist. He was a man who did not like paying for things twice. And this trick has saved me and everybody I have taught it to a whole lot of money. So here is what we are doing today. 12 numbered steps, start to finish. The what, the why, the how, and the mistakes that turn this from a $4 fix into a bigger problem than you started with. Stick with me, because number 10 is the one that trips people up the most. And it is the exact thing half the internet is telling you to do right now. Number 1, know exactly what you are buying. There are 3 white powders that get mixed up constantly, and they are not the same animal. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. That is the orange box in the baking aisle. It is mild. It deodorizes. As a drain cleaner on its own, it does close to nothing, and I will get into why later on. Washing soda is sodium carbonate. Yellow box, laundry aisle. Different molecule, much stronger base, and that is our guy today. Then there is lye, sodium hydroxide, which is what is inside most of the crystal drain openers on the shelf. That is a different level entirely, and I am going to spend a minute on it in a second. When you are at the store, read the ingredient panel. If it says sodium carbonate, you are holding the right box. If it says sodium bicarbonate, put it back. That is baking soda in a different costume. Ask somebody if you have to. It is a cheap box that almost nobody buys, so it tends to be dusty and down low. Number 2, understand why pH 11 beats pH 14. This is the part that makes the whole thing make sense. So give me a minute here. Washing soda in water sits around pH 11. That is a solid, honest base, not violent. What a base does to grease is called saponification, which is a fancy word for turning fat into soap. Your clog is mostly fat. Cooking grease, bacon drippings, whatever came off the plates, plus soap scum and skin oil in the bathroom. Washing soda converts that fat into something that dissolves and rinses away. Now the crystal drain opener, that is lye, pH 13 to 14, and it works fast because it is aggressive. It also gets hot. Really hot. It is an exothermic reaction, and it can put serious heat right at a joint in your drain line. Here is what I have seen from that over the years. Repeated use softens and stresses PVC at the glued joints. On older homes with metal drain lines, and I mean galvanized or old cast iron, It eats at the pipe wall from the inside. And when it does not clear the clog, which happens plenty, you now have a pipe full of caustic liquid sitting on top of a plug. And that lye, reacting with all that grease, makes a hard, soapy mass that is worse than what you had before. Ask me how I know. Washing soda does not do any of that. It is slower. It is gentler. And because it is slower, it needs time. That trade is the whole secret of this method, and it is coming up in number 7. Number 3. Know honestly what this will and will not dissolve. I am not going to sell you something that is not true, because that is not what this channel does. Washing soda is outstanding on kitchen grease. It is outstanding on bathroom soap scum, the gray sludge that coats the inside of the pipe and slowly chokes the opening down until the tub takes 4 minutes to empty. Those two things are most of the slow drains in America. What it will not do is dissolve a wad of hair like a magic potion. It will not dissolve a kid's toy, a bottle cap, a chunk of drywall mud, or tree roots in the sewer line. Nothing you pour in a drain will. But here is the part people miss, and it matters. A hair clog is not really hair. It is hair glued together with grease and soap into a mat. Washing soda dissolves the glue, so even on a hair clog it does real work. It just needs a hand first. I will show you exactly how in number 9. Number 4. Get the standing water out first. This step gets skipped, and it is the reason people say this trick did not work for them. If you dump a cup of washing soda into 6 inches of standing water, that water dilutes it before it ever reaches the clog. You end up with a weak solution sitting in a sink. It cannot saponify anything at that strength. So bail it. Cup, ladle, turkey baster, wet vac if you have one. Get that water down to nothing, or as close to nothing as you can manage. In a bathroom sink, you can usually get it all. In a tub, you can sponge the last of it out. It takes 5 minutes, and it is the difference between this working and this not working. You want that powder in contact with the top of the clog, not floating on water above it. Number 5. Pour 1 full cup, dry, straight down the drain. 1 cup, a real measuring cup, not a coffee mug and not a handful. Put your gloves on first. I will cover safety properly in a minute, but washing soda is a skin irritant, and it will leave your hands feeling like sandpaper if you get careless with it. Pour it dry. Do not mix it into a slurry in a bowl first. You want that powder going down the throat of the drain and settling right on top of the buildup, as concentrated as it can get. In a kitchen sink with a basket strainer, pull the strainer out. In a tub, pull the stopper assembly if it lifts out easily, and if it does not, just work the powder through the opening as best you can with a funnel. More is not better here. A cup is a cup. 2 cups does not clear it twice as fast. It just costs you more and leaves more to rinse out in the morning. Mid-roll subscribe CTA. Quick thing before number 6. If this is the kind of repair you want more of, subscribe to the Vintage Pipefitter. It is free and it takes a second. That is the whole ask. Every week I put out another real fix, the sort of thing you handle yourself for a few dollars instead of paying somebody a couple hundred. Number 6. Chase it with hot water, not boiling water. 2 to 3 cups of hot tap water, poured slow, right behind the powder. The water does 2 jobs. It dissolves the washing soda so it becomes an active solution, and it carries that solution down into contact with the clog. Pour it slow and steady. If you dump it fast, you push some of your powder past the clog and down the line where it does you no good. Now hear me on the temperature, because this is where people get themselves in trouble. Hot tap water, not boiling water off the stove. PVC starts to soften somewhere around 175 degrees. Boiling water is 212. When you pour boiling water down a PVC drain line, you are putting it right past that softening point, and the weak spot is the glued joint. I have been called out to slow leaks under sinks that started exactly this way, from somebody following a tip they read online about pouring a kettle down the drain. Your water heater puts out around 120 to 140 degrees. That is plenty. That is what you want. Thermal shock on a 60-year-old cast iron joint is not a fight you need to pick either. Number 7. Let it sit 6 to 8 hours. Overnight. This is the whole thing. If you take one item out of this video, take this one. Every drain product on that store shelf promises you 15 minutes. 15 minutes, flush, done. And that promise is why they fail so often, because 15 minutes is not enough time for any chemistry to work its way through a half-inch crust of hardened grease on the inside of a pipe. Washing soda works on the outside of that buildup and works inward, slowly. It needs hours, not minutes. 6 to 8 is the sweet spot, which is why I tell everybody to do this as the last thing before bed. Last dish washed, last shower taken, powder in, hot water in, walk away. Do not run that fixture again until morning. Nobody in the house touches it. That is the rule. If somebody brushes their teeth in that sink at 2 in the morning, they have just rinsed your treatment down the line, and you are starting over tomorrow. If it is the only bathroom sink you have got, put a sticky note on the mirror. I am serious. It sounds silly, and it works. You are also not standing over an open drain waiting on a caustic reaction. You are asleep. Number 8. Flush it hot in the morning and read what comes back. Morning comes, run the hot tap for a solid 2 to 3 minutes, not a quick rinse. Give it a real, sustained flush so anything that is broken loose gets carried all the way out to the main line instead of stalling in a low spot. Then watch the drain and read it, because it will tell you where you stand. If the water swirls straight down with a clean gulp at the end, you are done. That is a cleared line. If it is noticeably better but still a little lazy, that is a partial. Very common on a clog that has been building for years. Just do it again the next night. 2 or 3 rounds on a badly built-up kitchen line is completely normal, and it still costs you less than $3 total. If it is exactly the same as yesterday, with no improvement at all, then you are probably not dealing with grease. That points to something solid in the line, or a hair mat, or a problem further out than your trap. Which brings us to the next one. Number 9. If it is hair, pull first and dissolve second. Bathroom sinks and tubs, most of the time, are hair. You do not chemically dissolve a dense hair mat. You physically remove it. And the good news is that the tool for the job costs about $2. Those plastic barbed drain sticks, the flat zip strips with the little teeth cut down both sides. Every hardware store has them by the register. Feed it down past the stopper. Work it as deep as it will comfortably go. Twist it and pull it back out slow. What comes up with it is going to be unpleasant. Have a paper towel and a trash bag ready, and do not look too closely at it. Now here is the order that matters. Pull the mat out first, then do the washing soda treatment that same night. The pull takes the bulk out, and the washing soda dissolves the grease and soap film that was gluing the whole thing to the pipe wall, and that would otherwise start catching hair again in a month. Do it in that order, and you get a drain that stays open. Do just the pull, and you are back at it before summer. Number 10. Never mix it with vinegar or any acid. Here it is, the one I promised you, and I know some of you are not going to like it. The vinegar and baking soda trick that everybody swears by does not clear clogs. I am sorry, it just does not. Here is the chemistry, plain. Baking soda is a base. Vinegar is an acid. Put them together and they neutralize each other. That dramatic foam you get is carbon dioxide gas, and what is left in the pipe afterward is mostly salt water. You started with a mild cleaner and an acid, and you deliberately canceled both of them out. The fizz looks like something is happening. Nothing is happening. Same goes for washing soda. Pour a cup of good, strong sodium carbonate down there, and then chase it with vinegar, and you have just thrown away your pH 11. You paid $4 to make salt water. The foam does have one small, honest use. In a drain that runs fine but smells, the fizzing can lift some loose film off the pipe wall. That is a deodorizer. That is not a clog remover, and it never was. So do not do it. Washing soda, hot water, time. That is the recipe. Nothing else goes in. Number 11. Never pour it on top of a store-bought caustic cleaner. If you already dumped a bottle of the hardware store stuff down there and it did not work, stop. Do not follow it with washing soda. Do not follow it with anything. You have got a standing column of lye or bleach-based cleaner sitting in that pipe. Adding another product on top means you do not know what you are creating. You do not know what fumes come off it, and you are going to get splashback out of the drain opening while you pour. Caustic splash in the eye is a hospital trip. If that is where you are, the correct move is to get that liquid out of the pipe. Bail what you can reach with a cup and dispose of it the way the label tells you. If you cannot reach it, that is genuinely a call to a plumber, and you tell him on the phone what is down there before he opens that trap. He will thank you for it. Once the line is clear of product, you can start fresh with washing soda another day. Number 12. Make it a monthly habit and skip the service call entirely. This is where the real money is, and it is the part most people never get to because they only think about drains when the drain has already stopped. A professional drain clearing in most of the country runs $150 to $250. That is the routine version, one fixture, an hour of somebody's time. If he has got to pull a trap or get on the roof to run a cable down a vent, it climbs from there. 1 cup of washing soda is roughly 40 cents, so put it on the calendar. Once a month, last thing at night, 1 cup down the kitchen sink and 1 cup down whichever bathroom drain runs slowest in your house. Hot water behind it, walk away, flush it in the morning. 10 minutes of your time a month. A clog is not an event. It is a slow build you did not see. Grease going down warm and hardening cool. A little more every week for 3 years until one Sunday the water stands in the sink and it feels like it happened all at once. It did not. If you strip that film out every 30 days, it never gets there. And a note for the folks on septic because I get asked this constantly. 1 cup a month is fine. Washing soda is a laundry booster. It is going into your tank every time you run a load of wash anyway, in bigger quantities than this. It is not a bleach, and it is not going to hurt your bacteria at this dose. What kills septic systems is bleach, lye, and solvents, which is another good reason to stay off the hardware store shelf. Thanks for staying with me through all of that. If you got something useful here, subscribing to the Vintage Pipefitter is the best way to tell me so. And it costs you nothing. A new repair walkthrough goes up every week, the kind of know-how that took years on the job to pick up. So it is there waiting when something in your house quits. Bonus: make your own washing soda in your oven for free. Now, I said there was one more, and here it is. If you cannot find washing soda anywhere in your town, or you just want to know this because it is a good thing to know, you can make it out of baking soda in your kitchen oven. Sodium bicarbonate, the baking soda, is one water molecule and one carbon dioxide molecule away from being sodium carbonate. Heat drives both of them off. That is all washing soda is. Cooked baking soda. Spread a layer of baking soda on a sheet pan, maybe a ½ inch deep, no more. 400 degrees, about an hour. Stir it once or twice with a spoon so it cooks evenly. You will see it change, and that is how you know it worked. Baking soda is fine and clumpy, and it will pack down when you press it. Washing soda comes out grainier, duller, more like coarse salt, and it stops clumping. Let it cool all the way before you handle it. Put your gloves on and store it in a sealed jar. Label that jar. Do not leave it looking like baking soda in an unlabeled container, because it is a lot stronger, and nobody wants that in a batch of biscuits. One box of baking soda gets you a couple of treatments. Honestly, at $4 for 55 ounces, buying the yellow box is the better deal. But if it is 9 at night and the sink is standing full and the store is closed, now you know you have got what you need in the cupboard already. That is the whole method. Bale it dry. 1 cup of washing soda, 2 or 3 cups of hot tap water. Let it sleep on it for 6 to 8 hours. Flush it hot in the morning. Under $1, no caustic chemicals, nothing hard on your pipes, and no plumber in your kitchen on a Saturday. Uncle Ray would tell you the cheapest repair is the one you make before it breaks. 30 years in, I have not found a place where he was wrong about that yet. Go check under your sink. I will see you next week.